Hey, Battle Bill, here with another video, and today we're getting back into some more Great League Go Battle League battles. Alright, so I got a nice little shoutcast for you guys. These battles were actually submitted to me probably about like a week ago. Some stuff came up. If you notice, I haven't put out a video in the past few days. Everything's alright though. But this was actually submitted by somebody that's appeared on the channel before, but he's going by a new name now. He was known as Cool Trainer Sean. His new in-game name is Stringer Bell, and he came to me and was like, yo, Scrafty's been putting in work for me in Go Battle League, and funny enough, I wish I would have put out the video like right away. A couple days after, PvP updated, and then Scrafty jumped to number 3. Some other YouTubers like Zionic covered Scrafty, and I have some more exciting battles for you guys just to add on to potential Scrafty hype, see how much play it really has in this updated Season 3 Great League Go Battle League meta. So shout out Stringer Bell, shout out Sean. I appreciate you submitting these battles. I can't wait to look through them. The team he's put together here has Scrafty in the lead with Azumarill and Hypno behind it. I'm curious to see some of the strengths and some of the potential weaknesses of this team. Let's get into these battles. Oh, and before we do, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, let's get into these now. Off the bat, Scrafty is a fighting, dark type Pokemon that would take double super effective damage from charm or fairy type attacks. And looking at the team comp, he doesn't really have a hard counter for fairies or charm users. He is running Azumarill and Shadow Hypno, both of which will take neutral damage, and I guess will protect Scrafty enough because we're not seeing too many Charmers in this new Season 3 meta, so I could understand why he wouldn't be too worried about it. So, in this first match, he ended up losing lead. He had Scrafty on Azumarill, swapped in his safe swap of Shadow Hypno, and his opponent countered with a Whiscash of his own. He's going straight for the Shadow Ball. His opponent doesn't shield. That does a solid chunk of damage to his opponent's Whiscash, and now he's going to shield the incoming charge move, which should most likely be a Mud Bomb. As this happens, he's going to commit to a confusion down of the Whiscash, and he's going to win switch advantage back. So, the question is, what does the opponent decide to do? They decide to bring in their Azumarill and throw the charge move right away. Now, his Hypno has a bunch of energy, so he decides to shield it. He doesn't want to let that energy go to waste, even though he now is down 2 shields to no shields. But Thunder Punch from Shadow Hypno will start to pressure this Azumarill. Got the first shield there. He's going to get to a second Thunder Punch right here. He decided to overcharge a little bit. Understandably so. The Azu wasn't going to be at the next charge move yet, but still, just a bit of risky business. Got the second shield from the Azu, and he's going to really try to get to that last Thunder Punch, and is able to do it before the Azu is able to bubble him down. So that's awesome. This will get the Azu in the red, and then he will get bubbled down. He can bring in his own Azu because he'll want to absorb all the energy that his opponent's Azumarill was able to farm up. Question is this Azu running Play Rough? It is running Play Rough, but even then, Azumarill could chunk quite a few play roughs, so he's letting his Azu bubble down. He's waiting to see if another charge move comes through. This will most likely also be another play rough. His Azumarill is running Ice Beam and Hydro Pump. If he really wanted to, he could probably throw an Ice Beam and take out this Azu after over farming a bit, and that looks like that's exactly what he's going to do here. And now, the rest of this match will depend on what his opponent's last Pokemon is in the bag, and if Scrafty can handle it in the no-shield situation. Ends up being a Skarmory, so Scrafty couldn't, but his Azu has so much extra energy, this Hydro Pump won't one-shot the Skarmory, but it will get it into the yellow and do a solid chunk of damage. So now the question is he going to be able to get to an Ice Beam? Because honestly, his opponent decided to throw. His opponent knew he was right at that Ice Beam, because honestly, I probably would have swapped immediately to Scrafty, just to be safe, but this works out too. Gets his opponent's energy, might have overfarmed a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to get to 2 Sky Attacks, because this first one will come through. It'll hurt Scrafty, but Scrafty can tank a Sky Attack. It survives it. It's in the red, but it survives. He'll get to this power-up punch here. This should take out the remaining health of the Skarmory, and he was able to overcome a lost lead there. Now, Scrafty didn't really do a ton of work there. Hypno kind of carried that match as a safe swap, but overall, some really good plays. Now, what I will say is running Shadow Ball on Shadow Hypno is a little unorthodox. You do typically see Shadow Ball on regular Hypno, but on Shadow Hypno you typically just see the Thunder or Ice or potentially Fire punches, just because Hypno, as much as it's a tanky Pokemon, the Shadow version takes more damage, so you want to just be able to fire off as many charge moves and kind of spam them as quickly as Hypno can with the Confusion move, as clunky as it could potentially be. So him running Shadow Ball on his Shadow Hypno was pretty big there, because he was able to land a big blow to that Whiscash and essentially flip switch advantage, because his opponent was not expecting that at all. So, getting to the second match, he's got Scrafty on water cast form, rainy cast form lead. So I have zero idea how this matchup plays out. Water gun's doing a chunk, but the counters are tearing into cast form. He's going to let this weather ball go through. This will definitely get it into the yellow, and he's over farming, and he's going straight for the foul play. Doesn't want to start boosting the counters with power up punch. He wants to go straight for his bigger move, and it gets the shields. Fascinating. So he's got his shields here, most likely just going to go for the power, or not go for the power up punch. Another charge move's coming through. He's going to shield this one up. I'm assuming at this point, might as well just go for the foul play then. He's overcharging more, going for the foul play now. I'm like, go for a charge move. And will this take out Rainy Cast Form's remaining health? It gets the second shield. Yeah, that would have taken out the remaining health. That's pretty crazy, and he's going to be able to still get to another power-up punch. Now, this shouldn't take out Rainy Cast Form, but it might get it low enough where if he sneaks in a counter, he could take it out. Oh, it took it out. What do I know? And then Munchlax comes in. That's quite the counter to Scrafty. It's obviously not, so it's unfortunate that his Scrafty kind of got wasted on Rainy Cast Form. His back line consists of Munchlax and probably something else weak to his Scrafty. But either way, Munchlax on the charge move. This should be a body. Oh, gong shot! Oh! Should be a what? I got so distracted. Now he's going for the Hydro Pump. We just landed some big moves here. I don't know what's going on in this match anymore. But he's going to try to commit to a bubble down. His opponent swaps into Galarian Stunfisk. He's charging up. He's definitely going to shield this because he decided to keep in a Azumarill here. And he's at an Ice Beam. He's probably going to risk it and go for the Hydro Pump. The Hydro Pump will get the Galarian Stunfisk either to like very minimal health or take it out. This Hydro Pump's definitely going to hurt. So the fact he was able to get to it is huge. It takes out the Galarian Stunfisk. He throws another bubble at Munchlax. And Munchlax, with that much health, is not going to be able to do anything to Shadow Hypno. And I have no idea what just happened in that match. But Scrafty did win that lead pretty well. As we see this team more and more, it feels pretty safe. Running Shadow Hypno, as much as it's a tiny bit or a little bit glassier than regular Hypno, and running Azumarill, those are pretty safe Pokemon to put around a solid Spice pick like Scrafty. And he's also lost another lead here and safe swapped into that Shadow Hypno. His opponent's leaving in the Azumarill. He's able to get to the Thunder Punch. So this will kind of threaten the first shield. If not, it'll do a good chunk to Azumarill. See what happens. It gets the Azumarill into the yellow. His opponent's keeping the Azumarill in and going for a charge move. This should be an Ice Beam. He decides to shield, ends up being an Ice Beam, and now his opponent counters with the Skarmory. So it explains why they didn't swap right away, because the Skarmory definitely doesn't want to see these Thunder Punches from Shadow Hypno. That's the first thing. And I can only imagine what the other Pokemon is if he decided to bring a Skarmory to deal with the Hypno. Now he didn't shield that. It gets his Hypno really low. He's going to get to the first Thunder Punch here. Will he be able to get to the second one before the Air Slash is taken out? And he's just able to get to that Thunder Punch in time. Great use of preserving his shield and still getting off all the charge moves that he wanted to get off. Gets a Skarmory in the yellow. They're equal on shields. He does not have switch advantage here though. He's going to bring the Azumarill, and now the question is, can his Scrafty do enough damage to that weakened Azumarill to potentially win this match, unless his opponent's last Pokemon in the back is also weak to Azumarill, and his opponent matches his Azu with their own Azu. Ends up being a Shadow Victory Bell. So he's going straight for the Ice Beam. Luckily, he was able to farm down the Skarmory, essentially at like 2 Ice Beams, but he's got to get out. Azu's health is way too low. Opponent swaps. So now the question is, what's the play? Yeah, you just go straight Power Punch, straight counter, because Azu is going to resist the counters, it's going to resist the Power Punches, and it's going to resist the foul play. So you might as well just try to power up Scrafty as much as possible and let the damage slowly add up like he's currently doing. Charge was going to come through. It is an Ice Beam. He uses his last shield on it. Don't blame him at all. He's overcharging now. He's overcharging a lot. He is, he wants to commit to a full farm down. I feel like I might have thrown the power up punch because that Shadow Victory Bell is not really going to be able to take out the Scrafty too easily, but now he's going to be able to throw a powered up foul play, and it is powered up only once. This should be enough though for the glassy Shadow Vic to end up going down. Is not enough, gets him low. He's able to still get the power up punch through. This will definitely take out the Shadow Victory Bell. I'm seeing some weird matchups. Not used to seeing Scrafty in play, so knowing how much damage it's going to do, it's a little unknown to me, but definitely did a solid job there. So, can somebody say Scrafty is an Azumarill counter confirmed? I'm kidding, it's not, but he was able to do enough damage to finish off that weakened Azu and win him the last match. So getting into this match, he's got a very positive lead here. He's got his Scrafty against a Jirachi. The counters will be doing neutral damage because of Jirachi's Steel and Psychic typing, and these foul plays will be dealing super effective damage because of Jirachi's Psychic typing, and the first foul play goes through and practically one-shots the Jirachi. So his opponent, I guess, was expecting the power-up punch play, and brings in an Azu now to try and counter his Scrafty, and now he's building up a chunk of energy. It doesn't seem like he's sure of what he wants to do there. He pulls off a really good swap, but I think he went past 100 energy. So I don't know if he really just wanted to catch that play rough, but it worked itself out to an extent. Unfortunately, that Azu is running play rough, so it's not exactly going to win him switch advantage, but then again, he took out the first Pokemon, so I mean, like, he doesn't really need switch advantage. He just needs his Scrafty and Hypno to essentially take out his opponent's last Pokemon, kinda ish, and finish off this Azu, because his opponent's Azu is definitely going to beat his, because his Azu is only running Hydro Pump and Ice Beam. But gets into the yellow, and now they're just going to be exchanging blows, throwing bubbles back and forth. His opponent's going to throw another play rough here. He's going to shield it up, probably try and get to a Hydro Pump here. Seems like the logical play. Yeah, he's going for the Hydro Pump here. Hydro Pump will not take out. Oh, he's going to try and bait. His opponent pulls a swap. His opponent swapped the Altaria into a baited Ice Beam, and it goes unshielded. That was crazy. So, oh my god. His opponent had to be so salty right there. His opponent's probably sitting there like, I'm gonna swap Altaria in on a Hydro Pump. I got this. GG. Pulls a swap, sits there with their shields, and takes an Ice Beam to the face. Whew. I would be really upset if I was his opponent right now. The Hypno comes in, confusions down the Altaria, and this match is GG. He's going to get to 2 Thunder Punches. His opponent's going to get to an Ice Beam here, I would assume. Yeah, because it's got to be running, what, Ice Beam Play Rough? Oh, going for the Play Rough. Okay. He's going to get to the Thunder Punch, and even if Hypno can't, Scrafty's got, like, all of its health, and it's not like the Azu's going to be able to farm down the Hypno, so that's just not going to happen here. The opponent does get to another charge move here. He's going to throw it. I don't know. Do we know the other move? This ended up being Ice Beam. Okay, we do know the other move. It was Ice Beam. But now Scrafty's got a majority of its health and a bunch of energy. Honestly, probably could have just thrown the power-up punch there, but that was the play of the set. That was priceless. The Azu Ice Beam into the Altaria swapping. So, he's 4-0 in the set so far, faced 2 Azumarill leads and was able to beat them. That Shadow Hypno safe swap definitely plays an important role on this team comp. But right now, Scrafty has been carrying its own weight. It's not like it's being carried by Azu and Hypno. It's definitely had its highlights here on this set for sure. So he won lead there. Deoxys safe swap comes in. He brings in a Shadow Hypno safe swap essentially to deal with the Deoxys. Lets a Thunderbolt come through. Does a decent chunk. Shadow Hypno can really still has a lot of bulk. It's definitely one of the better Shadow Pokemon for that specific reason. It's already bulky. He's going for the Shadow Ball here, and let's see if he's able to connect. He is able to connect, and that's so huge because when people see Shadow Hypno, they're expecting the punches and the punches only. They're not expecting that Shadow Ball. They're only expecting that from regular Hypno. So he's catching people off guard in this set, playing it really well. Did have to use a shield here, but is able to keep switch advantage, which is so much more important because he has Scrafty on a Galarian Stunfisk. His opponent brings the Galarian Stunfisk out to deal with the Hypno. He's going for another Shadow Ball here. This would probably do about 50% to a little bit more of the Galarian. Oh no, a little bit less. Alright, I'd say that's like 35-40% of Galarian Stunfisk's health. Because, you know, Stunfisk is a bulky boy. And it's going for a charge move. This should be a Rock Slide. We'll take out the Hypno, and he's definitely going back into Scrafty to just counter as much as possible to see what his opponent decides to do. He's going for the power-up punch now. Definitely get those counters boosted. Don't really want to see a charge move from Galarian Stunfisk because you don't want to be down 2 shields to no shields. This charge move's coming through. Probably a bait, but do you really want to get hit by an Earthquake? Ends up being a bait, but I would have shielded that too. Definitely don't want to get hit by an Earthquake when Scrafty's already powered up and has a good chunk of health. Opponent brings in Sableye and just quits and gives up. And talk about Scrafty pulling its weight there. After that set, I can see why Scrafty made it up to number 3 on PvPoke's Great League rankings. Overall, looking at that team, I think he put it together really well. Azu and Hypno are very safe Pokemon to put behind something like Scrafty. And Scrafty's main weaknesses being like Azu or Skarmory. Those 2 Pokemon in the back can help deal with its main weaknesses, and you already saw he was able to use Shadow Hypno to essentially flip some lead matchups that were poor for him. And then also running Shadow Ball on a Shadow Hypno, that was quite a play. I like that one. So if I'm going to give this team a rating, again, like, what does my opinion matter? But like, I'm still going to tell you because like, you guys come to the channel for it. But like, you could argue, you could disagree with it, let me know. I want to hear what you have to say. But my point is, I don't think any team will ever get a 10 unless it's just so spicy and somehow still magically works consistently. But this one's going to get pretty close. I'm going to give this team an 8. Definitely really liked watching the sets. Let me know any obvious weaknesses that you're catching, because I'm not really seeing any. But overall, those were some great matches. And Stringer Bell, I appreciate you for submitting them in. Now, if you want to submit me some sets, I'm going to get the Google form going. I've said this like in my previous 4 like Shoutcast videos. I still haven't done it, but hit me up on Twitter. I will definitely respond to you there, and we'll work something out. We'll talk about it. I will have a Google form in the description of this video or the next video or a video soon, hopefully. But hey, I got my Twitch going. I had my second stream, so if you want to check me out on Twitch, I'll have the link to that in the description. Please do. It's been a lot of fun doing all this content creation. I'm just like, I'm slowly getting the ball rolling and doing certain things. I don't expect to be taking any more hiatuses in the near future. Who knows when things come up, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys all in the next video.